back to my channel. I'm Deziel, and today I'm back to do with you the assembling of the latest pattern I put in my Etsy boutique. It's that favorite little skirt for the summer, a straight one with one slit in the front. So stay with me. We'll do this simple assembling. It is trendy this summer. It's a plain little skirt, just a tiny little flare at the bottom, and there's a slit in the front only on one side. That's why you have an asymmetric front, and you need to cut right side up for the two front piece, while the back is on the fold of the fabric, as well as the two waist facing. The reason why is to keep it very simple. I put an invisible zipper on one of the side seam. We're going to start by sewing the dart. There's 4 darts, 2 in the back, 2 in the front. You remember that we need to fold the fabric good sides together, align the 2 notches at the waist, hold the punch hole, and you're gonna sew in a straight line from the notch, straight line until 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch past the punch hole. Maybe you remember I show you already how to sew dart by using a straight paper that you put at the notch, and already you could place it going down your 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch. So you're gonna sew and just follow your paper. Now my darts are done. I'm going to overlock both sides of the front seam and the side seam of the small piece. This is going to tell you right away which side seam to overlock in the back. It's the one right next to it, so we'll overlock this one. And in the same time, we'll do the overlock on one side of the facing. So I'm going to place face to face, back with the back, front with the front, and this is going to tell you which side we overlock, this one and this one. Then we're going to do some straight seam on the plain machine. So place your 2 front pieces together face to face, and we're going to sew from the top all the way to the notch for the slit. Then we're going to take the facing, back and front face to face, and we're going to sew the side that is not overlocked. In the same time, when your front are assembled together, the 2 front pieces, we're going to do the side seam, the side that is overlocked. Place your back over the front, and this time we're going to sew from the bottom all the way to the opening notch. You must have a notch for the hip, and you have a second one that is the end of the opening. So you sew until there with a back tack. We are ready to sew the zipper, invisible zipper. I guess you know already that the invisible zipper are usually 2 centimeter or let's say 3/4 of an inch longer than what you need, longer than the opening, and that's because of the way we're sewing. To sew your zipper, you're going to place it more or less the beginning of the zipper or the teeth pretty much at 1.3 centimeter, a little more than 3/8 of an inch from the top part. I'm going to first do a stay stitch close to the edge. It's no problem, no back tack. It's just to positionate my zipper. I'll do it on both sides, and then I will use my invisible zipper foot to go very close to the teeth. Here's my zipper done all nice, and the reason why it's always nice like that at the bottom, it's because of that first seam or stay stitch where we positioned the zipper. If you notice, I'm starting on top all the way down, and then for the other side it's going to be straight because I'm starting at the bottom to go up. And if you want to keep access to the little carrier, it might be important at the bottom. It's going to make your life easier. Just start a little higher when you do the second side, maybe around where the teeth are starting. Now we're going to place the front over the back, face to face like that. And we're going to sew the side seam. And right after, I'm going to overlock it with a closed seam. When the side seam is done, I'm going to overlock the bottom of the skirt from the slit all around to the other side of the slit. And also on the overlock, I will do the bottom of the facing. Now it's time to sew the waist facing to the skirt. So open the zipper and place your facing right side with the right side of the skirt. You place it over the zipper, and we're going to sew just this little part. Depending on the seam allowance that you took to sew the zipper, sometimes it depends on the tape also. Now this time it's very important that you follow your 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch seam allowance on the facing. If you see that you cannot reach your 1 centimeter, just make it go over a little bit like that to make sure that you do use your right seam allowance. And we're going to use the half foot so we can go very close to the teeth of the zipper. We do the first side, and then we're going to place the same way the other side, and we sew it here also. Now that the seam is done, you're going to send all seam allowance towards the skirt, not towards the opening. And you're going to roll very tight because we have the teeth of the zipper here. We want to roll the fabric over or around very, very tight. Then you hold it and you could do your seam to attach the facing at the waist. Look at the notch on the center back right here. They fit perfectly. So you're going to sew all around until the other side. Let's say when you get to the center front, prepare the second side the same way. So all seam allowance towards the garment, and you're going to roll very tight around the zipper. Finish your seam. About the direction of the dart, usually the back of the dart goes towards the center. When I did sew my facing to the waist, I also right away after I did my understitch. The understitch is on the facing just a millimeter or 1/16 of an inch. It's to hold it together and make your life much easier to turn in. You see, you don't even need to press. Now it's time to turn the facing inside. If you want nice corner, you're going to flip the waist seam allowance towards the bottom. Hold this thickness to push it outside, and you should have a very nice corner just like mine. Now, of course, the ideal thing would be to have the hook and eye inside. Sometimes you could even find the zipper with the hook and eye. That would be easier for you. If not, you could put it inside. Next thing to do is to stabilize the facing inside to make sure it's not going to come out. One way to do it would be to do a top stitch. So all around the bottom of the facing, you could top stitch. It gives the look a little sporty. Or you could do the second way. What I'm going to do, it's to do little tack here and there. In fact, it's 5 different places. The 2 darts in the front, 2 darts in the back, and the side seam. The way to do it is to place your facing inside flat, turn it around, and just tack here right in the seam of the dart. You tack back and forth a few times so it won't show, and it's going to hold your facing down. You would do it again. So make sure it's flat because you don't want no pulling. And you turn it around and you tack right at the seam. Same thing at the side seam. Here you could even check. Make sure you're aligned just like that and tack. Do that 5 times. When the tack are done, I'm going to continue and do my hem, respecting my notch, 4 centimeter notch. Or you do it smaller, it's up to you. It won't change much, depends on the length that you like. And I'm going to stitch right at the edge of the overlock. Now I want to take time to show you the inside of the facing. Here you go. You see my little tack and it's hardly showing from the outside. Remember, I'm using black thread and the fabric is a denim but not very dark and it's hardly show. It really does the job. The facing is not coming out anymore. The other thing I did is the hem. And I did continue doing the finishing of the slit. Of course, it was an open seam, so it was easy to just flip it and stitch around the opening. If you don't want the inside to show a little bit outside like this, just back up and go see the sewing part where I just push in the corner before to start. And at the end, I did the same thing. You could see it properly over here. I just push inside the hemming part of the slit. So this way, nothing show from the outside. The other thing, when I did my top stitch right at the edge of the overlock, I usually go about 1 centimeter higher or 3/8 of an inch. It's more secure like that. So I do my square a little bit higher. And that's it. I think it's the most popular skirt for this summer. I saw it in so many fabric and we just finished sewing it. That's it for today. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching and I see you soon.